Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up. Yeah, I'ma make this shit hot. Oh, I'ma light this shit up.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to part 5 of what Naruto could absorb life energy. I'm not going to drag it out too much, I'm just saying I hope you do enjoy. Make sure you comment down below, like and subscribe. And for those who try telling me that I upload too much, saying I should upload once a week, etc. Suck your mum. When I don't upload enough, I get lectured. When I do upload, I upload too much. I'm waiting for it to get 30 seconds so I can start cussing you out, I'm not gonna lie. And I think we just about hit it. Yes, we have. Fuck off already, bruv. I don't care if you want me to upload or not. I'm just gonna fucking upload, so piss off. Other than that, let's just jump straight back in where we left off. Now with Gaara lying there, unconscious in Naruto's arms, Naruto smiled and said, looks like you had a tough life as well. Naruto can see deep inside Gaara's soul. Well, he can take it metaphorically. He can see the pain in Gaara's eyes. And he says, I guess we should be friends. Naruto heals all his major injuries, as well as with a certain jutsu he learnt from the Sacred Skull. Remember, Naruto doesn't really need it to practice. He can absorb jutsus with their chakras there. With a certain jutsu that he learned on the Sacred Scroll, one apparently invented by the legendary Sanin, Jiraiya, his teacher. Naruto placed his hand onto... God damn it. Naruto placed his hands onto Gaara's seal and tightened it a bit, sealing off the dreams that Shugaku would give him. As well as Naruto learns a bit about his own soul. Before anyone could come over, he put his hand on his stomach and went into his mind. And he looked Kurama dead in the eye and he said, "We're gonna have a problem if I unseal you." Hearing this, Kurama laughs and says, "Kid, why would I want a problem with you? You already have half my power. As soon as you unseal me, the better. You understand. And you have the jutsu now, you can seal me whenever you want." And hearing this, Naruto says, "I guess you're right," and he unseals Kurama. The gates explode open and Kurama attacks Naruto. Naruto was confused. As soon as this gate was opened, he could sense emotions. And what he got in turn with that was Kurama wasn't attacking him out of maliciousness, he was testing him. So Naruto was going to live up to this test. He ducked underneath the weight of Kurama's slash, and using life force to strengthen the gain extra strength, he grabs Kurama by the tail and spins him around and slams him. He then jumps up in the air and yells, "Odama Rasengan!" Using life force to increase it, he slams it into Kurama. Kurama just laughs and says, "That's enough for the test for me. You can feel it now, can't you?" Naruto can feel the chakra in his veins speeding up as it courses through him. He also feels another part of himself. Shut up! He also feels another part of himself that he couldn't use before, getting access to. And another thing, the back of his hand is burning. He pulls out his sword. Dark energy is just eroding from it. And Kurama says, "Finally." Dark energy that matches the same type of energy his sword is made up of pours out of Kurama. Kurama smiles. What Naruto noticed before that Kurama seemed a bit weakened. All this dark energy poured out of Kurama straight into his blade. Eventually it was done. Kurama collapsed after him and said, "I've been using 99% of my energy to fight off that goddamn Reaper." Naruto asked, he said, when I was sealed in you, your father used the Reaper technique. But the Reaper tried to take my soul and he was pissed off that your father sealed it in him. By the way, I know the jutsu isn't sentient for this, what if it is? And it's been fighting for my soul for ages, but somehow you absorbed it, so I give you my thanks. Naruto attempted to talk to Naruto until he got pulled out of his mind zone by Sakura, who's screaming at him, saying, Sasuke's gone, we can't find him, where is he?" Naruto's confused. "What do you mean Sasuke's gone?" And Sakura says, "I don't know, that mark that was in his neck before, that you said you could deal with, it spread around his body, and his eyes went a bit blank. He just started running." Hearing this Kurama says to him, it's that Orochimaru guy, even though you killed him, something's happening. Hearing this, Naruto tracks Sasuke with his flying Rasen and teleports towards him. Sasuke, just as Sakura said, his eyes were lifeless, blank. And he yells to him, Sasuke, where are you going? He dives towards him and Sasuke dodges it with ease. He spins his foot around and kicks Naruto in the face, sending him flying backwards. Naruto gets pissed off. He amps up his own energy with using Life Force. And he starts flying towards Sasuke, remember? Actually, no, that was the last wave. Naruto activating his KCM form, with Kurama helping him. He speeds up and he dives towards Sasuke. Sasuke now, who, even with this weird power boost they had, wouldn't be able to keep up with the speed, and Naruto decks him in the face. For a split second, a glow appeared back in Sasuke's eyes, but it quickly faded again. Naruto could just sense the weird, using his blade of course, could sense a weird chakra that had connected from the curse mark to Sasuke's brain. And he intercepts Sasuke again and again and again, and at one point he had him pinned down about to absorb the energy, until a weird white snake dived at him and Naruto barely moved out of the way. He recognised this guy from the tuning exams, but he used to wear glasses, now he looks like a snake. And he goes, Uzumaki brat, do you remember me? My name's Kabuto. You killed my master Orochimaru, but thanks to you, I have this power now. Kabuto is now in his snake form that we see him in the anime, or manga, that we see him do later on in Shippuden, but he got a lot earlier. He said, thank you killing my master, the great white snake. Finally he passed on sage jutsu again to me. And with this power, you have no clue how far below me you are. Now I'm taking that Uchiha brat for my own, as the Sharingan he possesses, as Orochimaru thought, is incredible. Sasuke regains his sense of thought, and he stumbles forward and says, Naruto, where am I? Kabuto pulls out his hand and the curse mark on Sasuke's shoulder spreads. Sasuke drops to the ground screaming. Naruto isn't just going to watch his best friend, no, his brother get hurt. And at speeds even Kabuto wasn't expecting, Naruto appeared in front of him with a fire Rasengan, something Jiraiya helped him. And he slammed it into Kabuto's chest. Kabuto gets sent flying backwards and he coughed up blood. He screamed, you bastard, how dare you touch the next Orochimaru. But he laughs. Naruto is in pure shock as he watches the damage on Kabuto's chest heal. He says, this is Sage Mode. Or should we say Snake Sage Mode, Naruto. A power that you'll never be able to attain, as only one Snake Sage can exist at one time. But we have the most superior Sage Mode there is. Naruto laughs and says, whatever, you bastard. Without Kabuto being able to react, Naruto launches his sword at him, impaling Kabuto in the soul dust. Kabuto starts screaming. He's never felt pain like this before. He can feel his actual soul get absorbed by this blade. He tries ripping it out, the same way Orochimaru did, and the process speeds up. Naruto unsummons the sword, and Kabuto lays there paralysed for like a minute. Naruto was confused that his life force at first was drained to a few years, but sees that the Sage Mode is replenishing it. Naruto dives down to Sasuke, and using another technique he learned from the Sacred Scroll, he examines the seal, and he reverse engineers it, extracting the last bit of Orochimaru there was, and he says, so this is what causing the pain. Orochimaru's miniature head is there, you nine-tails brat, release me this instant and you shall be forgiven. I am the great Orochimaru. Not only will you be forgiven, I will teach you that Sage Mode that brat over there stole from me. Naruto just laughs and says, you think you have the upper ground here, saying you'll spare my life. Don't make me laugh. Naruto summons his sword and he slices the last bit of Orochimaru, killing him fully. Naruto's confused, the weird energy he's never felt before, Snake Sage Mode, coursed through his veins. It was stolen from Kabuto. And Naruto just laughing. You said I'll never possess this power. You know Mitsuki from the Boruto manga, he has his Snake Sage Mode. Naruto enters that. Mitsuki is caught off guard. How impossible! There should only be one Snake Sage at a time. Naruto appears in front of Kabuto, decking him in the chest. And he attempts to rip his heart out, but Kabuto sends a snake out from his tail and bites Naruto hard. Naruto is not fatal. He grabs this snake tail by the neck and starts absorbing life energy from it. It then grabs up and dusts away. Kabuto jumps backwards and thinks, that brat, he just stole the 30% of my energy. What is he? Kabuto panics and he knows he has to run. And as such, he uses a getaway jutsu. Not before Naruto could slice one of his arms off with his sword. Naruto stabbed his cut off arm with his orb, and his sword absorbs it. And he says, so this is snake energy. I'll have to ask Jiraiya about this. He rushes over to Sasuke, and he sees that Sasuke's having a siege up. He's foaming from the mouth. Naruto gets on top of him and he starts shaking him. He looks at Sasuke's life force and he's confused. It's skyrocketing. 1,200, 1,300, 1,400. And as soon as he gets to 500, Sasuke stops shaking. He opened his eyes and Naruto's confused. There's a weird pattern. Sasuke has awakened his Magenkyo Sharingan. Naruto puts his hand down towards Sasuke's eyes, activating his lifesteal energy very lightly, attempting to copy this, and he absorbs it slightly. Naruto jumps back because his eyes begin to burn, and he looks in the puddle. He has awakened his own Sharingan. You guys comment down below. I've already have a sort of idea of what I want it to be, but you would guys comment what you want his abilities to be. I know I'm dragging this, but it's because what's going to happen next. After this, he picks Sasuke up, he's still unconscious, and teleports back to the village. He puts Sasuke in hospital. And they put him under emergency life care. They're saying he barely has a pulse. And this brat, he's nearly died twice in the last few months. Naruto just laughs. He knows Sasuke will be okay, but he don't know how long he'll be asleep for. Naruto sprints around the village till he finds Jiraiya, and immediately starts questioning him about Sage Mode. Jiraiya gets caught off guard. Naruto, how do you know about Sage Mode? He explains that to Jiraiya that Orochimaru's apprentice had something called Snake Sage Mode, and Jiraiya's face turns white. Damn it, he's a danger. And Naruto says, let me finish. After fighting with him, I absorbed part of his energy, and Naruto enters Snake Sage Mode. This catches Jiraiya off guard. Impossible. What? Naruto deactivates it and he says, I don't know, but I can use it and it feels weird. Jiraiya immediately says to Naruto, I don't mean to panic you, but you're gonna have to come with me for a few years. We need to train you. In this, Naruto openly says, sweet training, let's go. But then he realizes a few years. What do you mean a few years? Now Jiraiya says to him, probably like 3 or 4 years minimum. Hearing this, Naruto says, oh, is it necessary? And Jiraiya says, I believe so. I've got an intel from one of my sources that the Akatsuki are making a move on all the tailed beasts, and one of them wields the most powerful dojutsu in the world, the Rinnegan. So we need to prepare you for that, as you have the 9-tailed fox. They'll be coming after you soon. And I know you're confident in your abilities, but someone with the Rinnegan cannot be trifled. Hearing this, Naruto agrees, and he writes a note for all his friends. Hinata, he says that they need to catch up when he gets back, and he gives her training, like something to train to strengthen the Byakugan. He needs a note for Sasuke, explaining how he needs to leave, and he recommends Sasuke to go on his own journey to find his brother, or information about his brother, and to get as strong as possible. And like a year and a half through, he left the location. I was gonna meet up there. Sakura, he just left a note saying, fuck you, you Lucius bitch, train your chakra control. Even though you're quite useless right now, you have insane chakra control. Here's the location that Jiraiya gave me. This is one of the legendary Sannin, Tsunade. Find her and convince her to teach you and prove you're not useless. After this, Naruto left before Sasuke even woke up, and he began his 3-year training mission. Throughout the first 6 months, Naruto just trained on chakra control, a technique that Tsunade taught Jiraiya, a basis of it. Naruto has a superhuman strength like Sakura. They practice on linking their tail beasts so Naruto can enter that massive Kurama link form. They practice on making tailed beast spawns. Naruto absorbing more life energy. By the time he left, he had about 20,000 years worth of life energy. Right now, he has about 150,000. This is from him fighting ninjas with Jiraiya, absorbing magical beasts through his training. And as such, remember, the more he absorbs, the faster he trains. So Naruto can now perfectly use any nature energy and any jutsu at all with ease. He's even starting to get in the grasp on using jutsu without any hand signs. He is yin and yang, which Naruto is starting to particularly like. He even finds a burial ground to Hashirama where it has some of Hashirama's DNA. He absorbs that and he feels his power flourish. And finally, with 5 months left before they have to meet Sasuke, Jiraiya takes Naruto to Mount Momoboku. And to learn more about Sage Mode and potentially learn about Toad Sage Mode, as soon as they arrive there, 3 massive toads attack Naruto, sensing the snake energy. But Jiraiya blocks it. Gababunta immediately says, Jiraiya, why are you with a snake sage? And Jiraiya explains the situation. Gababunta is confused. And he says, so you're not trained, you're not a disciple of that old massive snake, but you have his power. Interesting. Let me guess, you want him to learn Toad Sage Mode as well? What makes you believe he's worthy? And Jiraiya whispers to Gababunta, I will believe he's the child of prophecy. After hearing this, Naruto gets taken through the tutorial to that very old Toad Sage, and he tries showing off the power of Sage Mode, but Naruto does it easily without anything. And they begin the training of Sage Mode. Naruto progresses hundreds of times faster due to all the potential he has, and already a grass and snake Sage Mode, and within 2 months Naruto is a master sage. And he's walking through the tower of all the frogs. He's just learning Toad martial arts. And he's walking through the massive statues of all the great sages till he gets to the final one. Naruto's overwhelmed by the power radiating from him, and he puts his arms up and he begins absorbing it. Naruto feels something weird in his chest. Pain. But he stood his ground against it. He carried on absorbing it, even if it meant he was going to give his last breath. And finally, the statue crumbled and Naruto fell backwards. He was woken up by the old sage just slapping him, saying, you destroyed the statue of our ancestors. But Naruto attempts to speak, and the pure chakra infused in his voice, it blows the sage backwards. Naruto, in all honesty, feels weird, not even good, just weird. His vision is flashing in different colours. He can see millions of miles away, what it feels like at least. Yeah, I don't know, it's his Sage Mode, and it's weird. His body is now constantly generating Sage energy. He doesn't need to gather it on his own. And Naruto had discovered other abilities. He could control animals. This is the Great Sage energy, not the Sage Path, a bit below that. The first ever Sage Mode user. Naruto had absorbed his chakra, giving him an insane amount of pure Sage energy. Naruto tried infusing this with his other techniques, which worked out incredible. He even changed their nature to Sage type. I know you're going to be confused, I'll explain it later. Naruto found out that he'd been in a 2-month coma. But he shoots up and immediately tells Jiraiya they need to leave. No, a 3-month coma. It was the day they was meant to meet Sasuke. He immediately tells them they need to leave, and Jiraiya rushes them out without even Naruto getting explained his abilities or figuring them out. As soon as they get out of the outside world, Naruto runs off. He realises that Jiraiya cannot keep up. He then realises he's moving at insane speeds, he's never moved this fast before. And he runs towards Jiraiya and grabs him. He begins sprinting towards the spot. Everything seems to be moving in slow motion for Naruto, and he arrives at the same time as Sasuke. He notices something. Sasuke had a few scars. He was taller. His chakra was different. But he could sense his emotions. Sasuke had pure happiness seeing Naruto, and they both ran towards each other hugging. They did a recap over their abilities as they was walking back towards the village. But if you want to find out what that is, you have to tune in next time. Because peace out, guys. Bye. Like, subscribe, comment down below, join the Discord server, check out the thumbnail artist, and bye.